Welcome back to another episode of North of the Lake Sports Talk Live with your boy, Marvin Sean. This is season 2, episode 6. I thank y'all for y'all continued support and always, and especially I got to shout out our high school guys from the North Shore and Tangible Hope Parish. Like I said, man, I appreciate y'all. If you were watching on Instagram, if you're watching on YouTube and also Facebook, thank y'all for y'all continued support. We're going to get into things today. Y'all know I got to talk about Louisiana high school football, particularly on the North Shore, and our Tangy guys. We got Player of the Week coming up. We're gonna talk about those LSU Tigers, the matchup they have against Ole Miss, and we also gonna get into the Saints Monday Night Football against the defending champs and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You already know what they stand for, so that's gonna be a tough one for the Saints. But before we get started, we got to show love to our sponsors. Our sponsors, the Insurance Depot. They do personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and life insurance. You can find them at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. Like I said, I do all my insurance through them, whether it's my business insurance, whether it's my personal health, and you got to get that life insurance. So please give a call to Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson. Those are my people. Make sure y'all get with them. They also do taxes. That's the Insurance Depot at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. That's personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, life insurance. To the right corner of the screen, there's their website. That's Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson, my people over there at the Insurance Depot. Make sure y'all give them a call. We are very appreciative of them, so make sure y'all definitely give them a holler. Those are my people. Like I said, this is North of the Lake Sports Talk Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channels at the bottom. Once again, we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. That's at NOTL Podcast. Shout out to all our high school kids on Instagram. Share and repost the live for me. And if you would like to support the platform, also the cash apps at the bottom. I'm not forcing anybody, but if you love the content, please support us. Louisiana high school football, I got to start off with my Hammer High Tornadoes, 42-14 over Slidell. Archbishop Hannon, 46-7 over St. Thomas. Mandeville over North Shore, 42-0. Covington over Fountain Blue. Shout out to the kids at Fountain Blue, 48-0. Pearl River over Chalamet, that's 14-7. Franklinton over Jules Summit in a close game in overtime, 42-39. Laranja gets the win against Sahalina, 28-0. Lake Shore over Salmon, 31-26. Ponchatoula gets their win against Independence, 41-21. The game of the week, Amy versus Kentwood, 28-25. Pine gets the win over Barnado. Barnado, I got you on the show today, 44-0. University Lab over St. Paul, 29-12. Albany over Jefferson Rise Academy, 50-24. Springfield gets the win over Central Private. LSU next week, Saturday versus Ole Miss. Nichols, 51-7 over Southern. ULL, 23-13 over Southern Miss. Southeastern gets the win, 21-9. Shout out to Hammond America. Stephen F. Austin gets the win over Northwestern, 59-7. The Saints play tomorrow, and that's on Monday night. So, we're looking forward to that Saints game. LSU didn't play, so my nerves is not bad today. I'm very cool, calm, and collective. The Saints didn't play as well, so I'm in a pretty good mood today, y'all. So we're going to get into our high school football. Also, y'all stay tuned. We got Hammond High coach Dorset Buckles waiting in the wing. But for now, we're going to get into Louisiana high school football. And there's nobody better in Tangible Hope Parish to talk football. So I got to bring up my boy, Coach Fleet. Coach, how you doing, man?
How you doing, man? Bless.
Doing pretty good, Coach. You had some pretty good games this week. We had our Hammer High Tornadoes take care of business. We had Amy and Kentwood, which is a big rivalry up there in North Tangy. So some pretty good football in play. Did you catch any of that?
No, I didn't get to catch a game, but I definitely watched the Amy game and Kentwood game on YouTube or phone. It's a good game, man. So it lived up to the expectations.
Got you, man. Got you. So with that being said, we gotta get into the players of the week, and we got somebody who you are really familiar with. We got Kenyatta Fleet, man. We got Kenyatta right here on a 61-yard touchdown reception to give Hammond High a 7-0 lead over Slidell. Here he is on defense, and he's finding the ball hawk. He finds the ball wherever it's at, and here he is right here with the interception. Not only does he pick it, but he takes it to the house, man. Talk about this run.
Oh man, that run, man, he definitely showed. They surprised me on that. I ain't gonna lie, he did. He broke like 2 or 3 times, and after that was just pure determination right there.
Yeah, I
And
was saying
these
house.
two, yeah, these 2 plays that we saw, man, this all of the first 2 drives of the game. So he definitely set the tone for the game that in them 2 plays.
Nice tackle as well, man. Nice tackle by Kenyatta Fleet. We got another guy, man. You know, say this. Like I said, once again, this is a biased platform, but we give love to all the Tangible Whole Parish, right? So we got Brandon Coleman, man. We have Brandon Coleman also from Amy.
Oh, he had a great game, man. Amy got on them pretty early, a lot of dudes like his play. He had 2 interceptions and also 2 offensive touchdowns. It definitely, cause every time Kenwood had something going, he was able to make a play on defense. Anytime he needed to play on offense, he was there. He was a playmaker that game.
So shout out to the Amy Warriors, and that's Brandon Coleman. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. What a game from him, man. And I got to loop right back around to my Hammer High Tornadoes. And you know, guys, you know what? I'm not being biased. I mean, the Tornadoes are just balling. You know, we got a guy in Alante Beauchamp. I mean, here's another guy rushing the passing. And here he is. I mean, he's been all over the place all season. He had 7 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks, man.
Man, he having a hell of a season, man. Matter of fact, the whole D line having a great season for the Tours. They well coached by Coach Dean. He got those guys playing, man. Also he's one of the younger guys on our team, number 4 right here. He set the edge. He's making sacks. He's a monster out there.
He is that, man. And shout out to also Darius Servit, number 99. I mean, they have been just all over the place. I mean, they not giving the quarterback any time to make a read or anything. I mean, they in the backfield every time. You can see Beauchamp here, man. And also a shout out to number 17 for Hammer High. Had a hell of a game as well. But yeah, man, Hammer High is rolling right now. So shout out to Alante Beauchamp. He did send me his highlights on Instagram, and I said, man, you know what? I got you, brother. And you know, and if any of our guys in Tangible Parish, if you think you could be, you know, a candidate for Player of the Week, just send me over on Instagram. I know a lot of y'all are on Instagram. That's at NOTL Podcast on Instagram. As we sit here and look at Beauchamp, he was all over the field. Shout out to him in the Hammer High Tornadoes here. And you see another sack by Beauchamp, man. So definitely one of a great candidate for Player of the Week, man. And we got one more guy. He thought we wasn't paying attention to him this season. A player that we very familiar with our rival over there at Ponchatoula. So y'all can say I'm biased all I want to, but I put a Ponchatoula guy on here, and that Ponchatoula guy is Jacob Robinson, man. Our boy Jake over there. I'm sorry, is this the right one? Is this Jake Robinson? This is not Jake Robinson. I gotta apologize to him. You know what? I'm gonna get Jake on here. I got you, Jake. Even though I ain't got you lined up, I'm gonna make sure I show some love to you, brother. Just give me 1 second to get you on here, and hopefully I got you, Jake. Hopefully I got you. Let's see what we got here. I think this is Jake here. Let's see if this is Jake. There we go. We got Jake Robinson right here, Ponchatoula High School.
There's Jake playing in zone right here. Got a pick. He had a monster game.
Check him out. Jake, and Jake is one of those players that get to places with bad intentions, man. He just try to knock the snot out of people every chance. You know, he's one of those players, number 7 for Ponchatoula, man. We had to show some love to Ponchatoula. I don't think we had a guy from Ponchatoula all year, but that's our boy right there, Jake Robinson. You see him getting that quarterback hurry.
Bad intentions.
With bad intentions, man. Excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this cold that I've been dealing with for the last couple of weeks, man. But, we got our players of the week. We had Kenyatta Fleet, 61-yard touchdown reception, 35-yard interception, return for a touchdown with 6 tackles as well. We had Brandon Coleman out of Amy High School, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We had Alante Beauchamp of Hammond High School, 7 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, and 3 sacks. And also we had our boy Jacob Robinson, 4 tackles and an interception. And we've seen a lot of good players around the parish, but one team that stuck out to me, Coach, was Amy versus Kentwood. We all know that's what type of rivalry that is in the parish. And Amy got the win 28-25. What you think about that?
Amy played inspired football on Friday, due to the fact that their coach finally had a full week with them and a full game with them. Coach Powell finally came back from all the stuff he was dealing with. Well, keep him as prayers, by the way. But man, they played inspired, man. They played for him, and it showed.
And it showed. And also, we got another game. Laranja beat Sahalina 28-0. Laranja made a statement win right there against Sahalina. What you got to say about those kids out there, Laranja?
Not Saturday. Laranja had they was up on a lot of teams this year, like big, like at least 2 touchdowns going to half and 2 straight games. And they had a problem finishing. But they finally finished the game this time, so that's good to see right there.
Shout out to those kids at Laranja High School. What's that running back that was player of the week that we had earlier this year?
Rylan James.
Shout out to him as well. And we all know about our Hammer High Tornadoes as we getting ready to bring Coach Buckles up in here. Our Hammer High Tornadoes are ranked number 10. I got a graphic for y'all. Oh yeah. I got a graphic for y'all. My Hammer High Tornadoes are ranked in 5A. We coming in at number 10. With some of the top, programs in Louisiana. So it's good to see our Hammer High Tornadoes in that company, man. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and bring in Hammer High Coach Buckles. Coach, man, how you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Blessed, man.
Blessed, Coach.
Can't complain. We all feeling a little better, especially me and Coach Fleet. We see our Hammer High Tornadoes out to a 4-1 great record right now. We just mentioned that they are ranked in 5A. Coach, talk about the adversity this team had to overcome. The first game of the season, we go down against Denham Springs. So what type of adversity, what was your message to the team after that loss against Denham Springs?
Well, the thing is, we talk about, in life, we tell them all the time, this is bigger than football. We talk about in life, you're always going to have some adversity, and, you had to push through it. And that's something that we did. We asked Donut Reginald Monroe, to step in at quarterback to play something that he never played before. And he answered the question like, hey, Coach, yeah, I can do it, So that's the type of guy he is, though. You guys know him. And he stepped right in and done a great job for us, we know he's not a quarterback, but he actually done a fantastic job. We still lost 19-14, but I was so proud of those guys. And I just told him, hey, look here, man, we had a guy that stepped in to play quarterback. If we had any one of our quarterbacks here, we have no doubt that we would have won that game, and we still almost won it. So that's the thing about it. We still almost won it, man. We're so close. So I'm so proud of the guys, man. I just let them know that, hey, look, man, we can be really good. We constantly tell them that. So we definitely believe that,
Shout out to Reginald. I believe week 1 he was our player of the week. Shout out to him. He did have a pretty impressive performance against Denham Springs. Coach, you got something?
Coach, how do you feel about the top being ranked 10 in select right now? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we've been there before, so I don't even look at that right now, because that can change, in a hurry. We have 5 games left in the regular season, so that's what we focus on now. And right now we focus on St. Paul. That's our focus, because that can change tremendously. And we don't worry about that. And I usually look at that maybe around week 7 or week 8, okay. And we just let it fall where it may, but we just got to handle our business and not worry about the rankings and, just do our job daily and just go 1-0 each week,
Yes, sir.
Coach, talk about this team. How were they able to bounce back and win 4 straight games after losing that opener against Denham Springs? What does that say about this team?
Man, this team right here, it's no selfishness. Now that's important. When somebody score, when somebody make a tackle, everybody's happy for one another. Now that's when you become a team. When everybody trusts one another. And when everybody's excited about everybody making plays, that make other people want to make plays. So everybody's just rallying around each other, man. And I think we're going to continue to do that, man. This is going to be a big test for us. St. Paul's, we haven't beat them in 20 years. That's a long time, but we got them here on homecoming, and it can be done. We just got to go in, play disciplined football, play Hammond High football, and let's get the job done.
Let's go. Let's go, Coach Fleet.
All right, Coach. Halfway for the second half of the season, 3 of our 4 district games, St. Paul's right now 20th in the 24 select. Mandeville's 15 in the 28 non-select. Covington's number 12 in the non-select. What? Tell me. One question I got for you. What makes this district so tough? One of the toughest districts in 5A.
I mean, I just feel like, year after year, it's always tough, man. I mean, each city produce some great athletes, and I mean, year after year, it's always tough. When we get into district play, that's the meat of the schedule right there. And like you mentioned, Mandeville and Covington, they undefeated right now. So it doesn't get any easier after this year. So that's why I definitely don't look at the rankings, man. And we just need to just try to handle our business. Get better. I mean, we got practice on Monday where we're gonna go over our corrections and then our install. And focus on St. Paul. That's our only that's the mindset that we have right now to go get better versus St. Paul.
Gotcha. Speaking of St. Paul, next week is homecoming, and all the alumni are excited, Coach. So, what are the keys to beating a good St. Paul team?
Okay, so one big one. Last year we had a lot of fans, right? We had a lot of alumni there, but we don't want you to just be there. We want you to be there and make some noise, man. Because we feel that energy. The players feel that energy. The coaches feel that energy. So we definitely need that.
I'm gonna make sure this message gets out because last year for homecoming, because of I guess with the placement, maybe a lot of people didn't get into the game. So that's one of the announcements that I do want to make. Right now, we do have a damn good football team. To all our alumni, myself, Coach Fleet, we played at Hammond High School, but the biggest thing is supporting the young men that's on the field. I know we all want to have a good time. We all happy to see each other. Right. But one of the biggest things is supporting these young men. That's why we are truly there. We all can see each other at Walmart, but when it comes to these kids, we need to definitely support those kids. Coach Fitch, you got anything?
Yes, Coach. My last question I got for you. This is also an advice question for myself. I plan on getting coaching in the near future.
Okay.
The question I got for you: how did you get the players, the parents, the community to buy into what you're doing? Because you got the town. We behind you, man. You got us.
Man, I appreciate that. Hey, but the thing is, I mean, it's being sincere, about everything. We show love. We show tough love. And that's what, and they know it's real and it's genuine. When you show that right there, man, that is genuine, and they know that you'll do not only myself but the coaching staff. Do anything for them. They'll run through a brick wall for you, man. I know that. I know you hear that a lot, but that's the truth. And it's nothing special right there about that. Like I say, once you show those kids that you truly care about them and that you truly love them, man, they'll run through a brick wall for you.
And that's something that I can definitely attest to, man. We played Coach Carmen Moore wasn't the actual coach then, but he was the principal, but he would hang around practice, and he was one of them guys that you would just run through a brick wall for, man. Shout out to Carmen Moore, wherever he is at right now. That's my boy right there. I got a question for you though, Coach. Your defense gave up over 20 points, if I'm not mistaken, this year. What's going right? Is this defense for real, man? I said on the platform before, I think we got at Hammond High School, we got one of the best defenses in the state. What am I exaggerating, or is that kind of your feeling as well?
I mean, we have a really good defense, but I mean, like I say, we have the meat of our schedule now. So hey, we'll be able to see on Friday, how good our defense is, and like I say, myself and the coaching staff, we think we have a really good defense. But we got to continue to do it. I mean, we can't be content at all. Our heads can't blow up, or their heads can't blow up. That they're thinking that they're the best. So like I say, every day we're trying to get better, man. We're trying to go 1-0 every single week.
There you go. So to my Hammer High guys, it's that rap poison over here on NOTL. Don't listen to me. Listen to Coach. And I guess I ask you this. When I see this team, I think of this team as one of the best that I've seen, collectively. Do you think this is your best team you had since you've been at Hammer High?
Yes, it is.
It is. And I was watching film, Coach, and I mean, you had talked, I think it was Tuesday night at the Hammond Junior Tours game, and it's something special going on here, man. So shout out to you guys. But You know I can't let you get out of here without asking you about those LSU Tigers.
Yeah,
LSU next week versus Ole Miss, Coach. Speak about the LSU Tigers and what you've seen this year from your LSU Tigers. You know, most of the people around here know that you play at LSU under Nick Saban.
right.
So talk about your LSU Tigers. What you seeing and what you think the chances is against Ole Miss.
Well, I see a lot of Facebook talk, man. I never get in Facebook talk, man. You know, they talk bad about my LSU Tigers, man. But I'm always I'm always for the Tigers, man. You know, what we lost one game so far.
One game, USC.
One game. You know, I think it's gonna be a good game. You know, it's a tough loss with losing four, man. I mean that's a tough loss, but I think we're gonna do a great job, man. I mean the running backs, I mean they looking really good. You know, I mean I think we're gonna. You know, down the stretch, man, I think we're going to be good.
I believe that as well, and it's going to be a good test against Ole Miss. You know, if LSU pulls this game off, you know, we had a lot of losing going on this week in college football.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Tennessee go down, it was crazy. Alabama. I can't think of who else, Coach Fleet. I know
Michigan lost, USC lost, Louisville lost to SMU. There are about 6 upsets, man. So it shook up. The college football shook up right now.
So right now, LSU controls its own destiny. Right now, the SEC is wide open. But Coach, look, we're not gonna hold you long, man. Best of luck to you in our Hammer High Tornadoes for homecoming. One more thing. You mentioned that we need the fans in the stands. What are some of the things that some of the alumni should be looking forward to for homecoming, as far as rules or whatever that you guys want from us, other than being in the stands?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Mr. Cowles didn't probably put that out already. So, you know, I mean, just look for that. I'm pretty sure he have, or if he haven't, he will put it out, you know, but my biggest thing is, you know, come there and act right, you know, and have fun and support, man, and make a lot of noise, man. Like I said, we want to feel that energy.
Gotcha, Coach. I'm gonna make sure I put this out on Facebook, maybe sometime tonight, and I'm gonna keep reposting it during the week. Coach, look, man. We thank you for our time and Tornado Pride.
Hey, go Tars. Hey, but also before I leave, man, I just want to say thank you to you both, man, for everything that y'all doing and what y'all have done, man. We truly appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach. And you know, if you need us, we're here, Coach.
Oh, I know. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great one, all right?
All right, you too.
God bless you, Coach.
That was Coach Dorsett Buckles of our Hammond High Tornadoes. We appreciate him joining the program. Coach Fleet, I got to get you a couple more takes on a couple more things before you leave out of here. This is my college football top 5 right now. I got number 5, Alabama. And I didn't take Alabama out of my top 5 because I still feel like they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. I got Georgia coming in at 4, only because I feel like Georgia has played a more consistent brand of football in Alabama, even though Alabama did beat Georgia. But, you know, Georgia has kept things tighter. Bama let Vanderbilt come in and beat up on them. I got Miami at 3 because I think Cam Ward is the best player in the country. I got Ohio State at 2, and I got Texas at 1. Man, what would you change about this list?
I'll leave it like it is, man. I think that's legit right there, man.
That's a legit list, Coach.
That's legit, man. Because the SEC, man, I'm gonna tell you about the SEC. Somebody's gonna cough up another game. A couple teams gonna cough up a game. It's just that tough. We're talking about this last week with Vanderbilt. We said Vanderbilt gonna get up beating somebody. We said this. It ain't like Alabama was messing up that much. They was competing with Bama. They were making plays on Bama defense, man. Bama was just shocked how they were coming at them. But man, it's gonna get shook up again, man. October just got here.
So it's gonna be interesting to see, Coach. But look, I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of here, man. I don't want to be too long today. You know, LSU and the Saints didn't play, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just get into things for the next week in the games. But man, I look forward to seeing you at homecoming, man. You already know it's gonna be a good time, man.
Oh man, you already know we're gonna have some fun.
You already know. So, bro, I'm gonna see you Friday, man.
All right, go Tours.
Go Tours, man.
All right.
I thank everybody for tuning in. Once again, this is North of the Lake Sports Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 6. Thank y'all for joining me. We just had Coach Fleet on, and we had Tangy Players of the Week. We also had What Teams Impressed, and we was also joined by Hammond High School's Coach Dorsett Buckles, who is off to a 4-1 start with our Hammond High Tornadoes. So shout out to Hammond High, shout out to Tangy Athletes, everywhere. If you are watching this live right now and you are an athlete on the North Shore, not only Tangent, I am biased towards Tangent, but I also cover the North Shore. A lot of your scores are at the bottom. So if you are on the North Shore and you think you should be in consideration for Player of the Week, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's at the bottom of the screen. That's NOTL podcast at YouTube. I thank y'all. Y'all are my biggest watching audience. So I have to thank you guys for tuning in and showing the love and the support that y'all do. But before we switch topics, we have to give another shout out to our sponsors. That's the Insurance Depot. That's at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. I always forget that last two, but it's on the screen. Personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, or life insurance. That's the Insurance Depot. They also do taxes. That's Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson. That's at 985-618-3222. So please give them a call, and shout out to the Insurance Depot. Shout out to everybody that's watching this live, whether you are on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Shout out to everybody. And we have to go ahead to the next subject, and that's the LSU Tigers. LSU versus Ole Miss. Excuse me. That game is next week in Death Valley. The Ole Miss, excuse me, y'all. The Ole Miss Rebel does come to Death Valley, and this is going to be a make or break game for the LSU Tigers in the season. LSU with the one loss to USC this year. We just had Coach Buckles talk about LSU. All things are not lost. It was a big loss to USC, but this is a game that can shift the season for the LSU Tigers because of the style of offense that Lincoln Riley has played and the way that Ole Miss had played up until that Kentucky game. So LSU is going to be a big game for the LSU Tigers. Both teams have one loss. Both teams have elite quarterback play right now. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to come down to these quarterbacks and who can get comfortable early. Jackson Dart is leading college football with 2,100 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Really talented player. Right now, he is 6th in QBR in the country. Like I said, the 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But Garrett Nussmeier isn't too far behind him. Garrett Nussmeier has 15 touchdowns on the season, 4 interceptions, 12th in QBR. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic, it's going to be an interesting dynamic between these quarterbacks, and we can see who's going to get comfortable early, and that's what's going to pretty much determine this game, I think, in my opinion. But like I said, there's two great quarterbacks here, and great talent on both sides, on both teams. Lane Kiffin has done a good job down there in Oxford, turning around the Ole Miss program. They've done a great job in the transfer portal. So it's going to be interesting to see which quarterback and which offense gets set early, and that's what's going to determine the game, because you're going to have an offensive coordinator in Lane Kiffin who has been around for a while, won a championship with Coach Nick Saban at Alabama. So it's going to be interesting to see which offense gets settled early, and that's going to be the key determining the factor. On the ground, Ole Miss has Parrish with 91 carries, 570 yards, and 9 touchdowns already through 4 games. So that's very impressive on the end of Ole Miss. I'm sorry, through 5 games. Wait, where we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Has it been 7 weeks already? Yeah, so Ole Miss didn't have a bye, so they played 7 games already. Ole Miss with 1 loss on the season. But like I said, they have a stud of a running back in Parrish with 91 carries, 570 yards, 9 touchdowns. LSU has been struggling in the running game. As of late with the emergence of Caden Durham, LSU is a little better at running the football. Caden Durham on the season has 29 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think that number could be a little higher had he had more carries earlier in the season. We all know that John Emery went down in the season, but he is backed up by Josh Williams and also Caleb Jackson in the backfield. So, Ole Miss has a established run game. LSU is starting to get into theirs. They're starting to get more comfortable running the ball. So that's going to be another big key factor as well. And that's going to determine what offense gets settled in. What offense can run the ball early and what quarterback settle down early. I think that's what's going to determine this game. So, there's some athletes in this game. Also, Ole Miss has a receiver already with 885 yards, which is insane through 7 games. They had Trey Harris, who was actually out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm not sure what high school, but he is a senior for the Ole Miss Rebels out of Lafayette, Louisiana. That's a guy we probably should have kept in state. He has 52 receptions, 885 yards on the season, and 5 touchdowns, averaging 17 yards a catch. So that's going to be a player that LSU definitely has to scheme against, and make sure that they know where this guy is at all times. 885 yards on the season, and we barely halfway through the season is impressive. So it's gonna be interesting to see, can we slow down this Ole Miss Rebels offense, because we all know what Lane Kiffin is and what type of offense that he brings to the table. Always entertaining to watch, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the LSU Tigers do to adjust. With LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker is gonna have this. This is gonna be a test. This is gonna be a test for the LSU coaching staff, because they're going up against a guy who can coach, who can call plays. So this is going to be a chess match on both sides of the ball for these LSU coordinators. So, we'll see what happens in that game going forward. But there's going to be some players that have to step up for LSU in order to be able to pull off this win against the Ole Miss Rebels. And one thing that came to mind when I was writing down this topic, what players need to step up, and I would say players, and I would start with the offensive line. LSU's offensive line has to live up to the billing. Preseason, a lot of people were saying LSU had the best offensive line in the country. So far, they've been, above average, but has struggled to run the football. And Will Campbell made that statement early in the season that, we're going to run the football, was real bullish on that answer. So, this is the game to prove it. This is the game that LSU is going to need it. They're going to need to run the ball, and they're going to need to control the line of scrimmage. So that offensive line is the position to watch, and I think that is key to winning this football game. Whoever controls the line of scrimmage is probably going to win the game most of the time. That's not only in this game, but that's just in football in general. Whoever controls that line of scrimmage is going to be the one that's probably victorious in this game, man. And some of the things that I've been a little weary of this year is it's kind of like that player that steps up. It's always a guy. It's always that next guy up at LSU, and it's usually from the receiver position. We know what Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow has done winning the Heisman. It's always that guy that step up, and Garrett Nussmeier is having a hell of a year. But usually we have that receiver, and one of the guys that I think that has to make a statement here is Kyron Lacy. So far Kyron Lacy is having a pretty good season. I'll pull up his stats here in a second, but Kyron Lacy is having a pretty decent season. But I think this game needs to be his coming out party. I think on the year, this for Kyron Lacy is going to be a big deal, just for legacy standpoint, because I don't think Kyron Lacy has had the opportunities, even though his numbers aren't that bad. I think that this needs to be the game that he asserts himself as that guy at LSU at receiver. Like, we know the guys who came through LSU receiver, from the Odell Beckhams, to the Jarvis Landrys and the Malik Neighbors, the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chase, those type of guys. And I think in order to put his name in that number, I think that he has to put that type of performance up, a memorable performance, to where we like, okay, he's that guy. That's wide receiver you. I'm looking for that type of game from Kyron Lacy. And on the season, he doesn't have bad numbers, but I thought that he would be having a season that's more comparable to Trey Harris from Ole Miss, that's right out of Lafayette, Louisiana. But on the season, Kyron Lacy is 25, 352 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a catch. Those 5 touchdowns are impressive. The average per catch is impressive. But I just want to see Kyron Lacy take that next step in this game and be that superstar that we all know that he can be. He showed flashes of it, but this game needs to be his coming out party. We all know about Garrett Nussmeier. Yeah, like I said, as I mentioned earlier, Garrett Nussmeier, one of the best quarterbacks in the country, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the year, 12th in QBR in the country. Just been lighting it up. You know, he's not too far behind Jackson Dart, you know, at Ole Miss when it comes to production. One of the better quarterbacks in the entire country, you know, looking like maybe a future first rounder if he keeps up on this pace. But it's going to, you know, Garrett, this is going to be another game for Garrett to go ahead and establish himself in the legacy of LSU and the quarterbacks that have came through LSU. You know, are we going to put him on the same tier as Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow? That's kind of where he needs to assert himself in this game. That's, you know, same with Kyron Lacey. And it's going to be interesting to see, does those guys take that next step? Caden Durham is going to also be a big part of this game. I think they have to get it to Caden Durham often. You know, whether it's designing a screenplay, some type of way to get the ball in his hands. You seen last week, you know, that swing pass to him in the flat. He takes it, I think, over 60 yards to the house. It seems like every time Caden Durham touches the ball, something good happens. So LSU has to get the ball into his hands. One of the other positions that needs to be watched in this game is the LSU secondary. Excuse me. As I said with Trey Harris, Ole Miss got some guys that can catch the ball, and Lane Kiffin gonna scheme it up. Y'all already know that. So, you know, for this LSU secondary, whether it's Major Burns or the freshman PJ Woodland, who I think needs to get more playing time. You know, he is a freshman. He's gonna make freshman mistakes, but he has made some great plays for the LSU Tigers. I think his ceiling is very high. So I want to see what happens with PJ Woodland, also Sage Ryan and Ashton Stamps. Those guys gonna be called on early and often because Lane Kiffin, like I was watching them, I think it was this week. They come out throwing the ball, man. I mean, they don't waste any time. I think they kind of throw to actually run the ball. They throw to get a lead and then they run the ball. So it's kind of pass first offense. So it's gonna be interesting. This secondary has to hold up for LSU. I don't think LSU, with the type of defense that they have been playing, LSU is a much improved defense from last year, but they cannot get into a scoring battle or the back and forth with a team like Ole Miss. I don't think that works out in LSU favor. So it's going to come down to the secondary and rushing the passer. LSU has flashed some potentials of rushing the passer. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see if this LSU team can get pressure and also can that secondary help. But we all know if you get pressure on the quarterback, that makes everybody in the secondary look good, look like All-Americans. And that's what this LSU defense is going to be able to, is going to have to do in order to beat this Ole Miss team. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because, like I said, this is a day where LSU and the Saints didn't play, so I'm feeling pretty good. But we're going to break down the matchups that we're looking forward to not only on Monday night, but next Saturday in Death Valley. So we're going to see what it looks like for those LSU Tigers going forward. But like I said, I kind of already went over it a little bit. The keys for LSU to win is going to come down to controlling the line of scrimmage. That's on both sides of the ball. This offensive line is going to have to protect Garrett Nussmeier. We all know what type of season that he's already having, but that's going to be the key. And like I said, I just mentioned previously with the D-line, the D-line is going to have to get after the quarterback. If LSU pressures the quarterback and disrupts things, I think it's going to be in LSU favor. But if those things go the opposite way, it's going to be a very long day for the LSU Tigers. I think this Ole Miss team is very beatable, but they have to play complementary football on both sides of the ball. And another thing that they have to do is run the ball effectively. I believe with a high power offense like Ole Miss, you have to shorten the game and kind of make them play your type of ball that you want to play. That's what the Saints were so good with Drew Brees all those years. The Saints made you play their style of football, and that's ball control, that's getting first down, that's moving the chains, and then boom, you hit them with that big play over the top. And that's kind of what LSU needs to be able to do in this game. They have to run the ball effectively. Caden Durham early and often, Josh Williams, and I want to see Caleb Jackson get going. And I hope this LSU coaching staff, I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but I hope this LSU coaching staff doesn't give up on Caleb Jackson. I think he is a big talent. I think on the goal line, I think he could be very effective. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use that dynamic of running backs with the three-headed monster. You know, Josh Williams seemed like he'd been there forever. I mean, I seemed like Jaden Daniels. Seemed like Josh Williams was there with Joe Burrow. I mean, I could be mistaken, but it seems like he was on that team. It seemed like he's been there forever. So it's going to be interesting to see what this group of running backs look like, because I think that they are a talented group of running backs, and I'm waiting on Jackson to break out, and I think that could be a good 1-2 punch. We know what Josh Williams is. Josh Williams is a blocker. He is a hard-nosed runner. He knows the system. He's been there for a long time. So we know what type of veteran presence that he brings and what type of leadership. You know, I believe he is the number 18 this year for LSU. So we know what that stands for. So it's going to be interesting to see, but they're going to have to be able to run the ball to pull this game off. And it has not been pretty. It has not always been perfect, but LSU is going to have to be able to establish a run game and a run game early. That would calm my nerves down a little bit. You know, knowing that, you know, we have a run game early, that'd be a positive sign. Another thing, I just out the gate, whenever, you know, you're dealing with an offense like Ole Miss, you have to be able to create a turnover that can shift the game, that can give LSU's offense an extra possession, because I think it's going to come down to possessions in this game and what does each team do with those possessions. So create turnovers is going to be a major it should be a major point of emphasis for the LSU coaching staff to steal possessions from Ole Miss. You know, and you know, I think this LSU team can, you know, just from what I've seen from Ole Miss this year, I think LSU matches up pretty well against them. LSU still not playing perfect defense, but it is much improved. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to a top team coming in. I think the biggest team that we played so far this year was USC, but that win is not looking as good as it did. I'm sorry, that loss isn't looking as good as it did at the time, because USC lost to Minnesota over the weekend. But this is going to be that game for LSU and Brian Kelly that is going to be a prove-it game. You're going up against a coordinator like Lane Kiffin. You know, Brian Kelly, $10 million a year coach. I think this is the game where he proved it to Tiger Nation. He proved it to his team, and just scheme. And we got to see, because I mentioned it earlier in the season, it has been times that Brian, I felt that LSU was out coached. You know, in that USC game is a perfect example. We know what happened those 2 years against Florida State as well. And it felt like he was the inferior coach to some coaches that might have been paid a little lesser or looked at in a different light than the Brian Kelly who spent all the time at Notre Dame winning those 10-game seasons. But this is the year I feel like Brian Kelly has to overcome and live up to expectations. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what LSU does against an offense like Ole Miss. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And hopefully next week when I come on here, I am happy. I am cheerful about the game. But I got a prediction for y'all, man. I have a prediction. I do think somehow, some way, LSU is going to find a way to win this game. I do. Maybe that's that Tiger in me. Maybe that's that naive LSU fan speaking for me. But I don't think Ole Miss is unbeatable. I mean, you know, we all saw what Kentucky did against them to get the win. Didn't look very. I wasn't overall just impressed with Ole Miss, but you know, we got like when you have a coordinator like Lane Kiffin, you just never know what you're gonna get. We know what happened last year in that high-scoring game against Heisman winning quarterback Jaden Daniels. So it was a much more explosive offense LSU had last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of chess match that Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly gets into. But I'm going to give you my prediction. I got the LSU Tigers winning 30-26 against the Ole Miss Rebels. We're going to see how that play out. But that's my prediction. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. If you are watching live right now, let me know what you think in the chat about that prediction. I got LSU 30-26 against the Ole Miss Rebels. Let me know what you think in the chat. All the scores are at the bottom of the screen. Without further ado, I got to move right along to North of the Lakes, top 5 rankings. And I flashed this on the screen when Coach Fleet was on here. He had, you know, pretty much agreed with me, but this is North of the Lakes top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Alabama. I know some of you may be wondering, well, why does he have Alabama still ranked in the top 5 after losing to a team like Vanderbilt? And I'm going to tell you why. I think this is one of those losses for Alabama that's going to get them back on track. I truly do. I still think that they are a top 5 team in the country. I think Vanderbilt came to play. It was kind of like a David versus Goliath type of thing. And I think Alabama's going to get back on track with Caden DuBois. I think they have one of the best quarterbacks and athletes in the country in Jalen Miro. I'm still a believer in the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I know how that sounds. You know, I'm one of the biggest LSU fans out there. But at number 4, I got Georgia coming in above Alabama. And I know what you're saying. Well, Alabama beat Georgia. So how could you have Georgia ranked ahead of Alabama? And I'm going to tell you why. I think Georgia has played a more consistent brand of football. Even though Alabama did get the win, I think Georgia has played more consistently. Even in the loss to Alabama, they was able to fight their way back and make that game real close at the end of that game. So that's why I got Georgia a little bit ahead. And then it's what you done for me lately. Alabama lost just this week to Vanderbilt. Georgia shook back and got a win. So that's why I got Georgia coming in at number 4, just because of the history of Kirby Smart and just how they look recently. But I could not put anybody ahead of them. And I know what you're saying, because some teams that could be argued for these spots is Oregon, but Oregon hasn't showed me a lot this year. They are undefeated on the season at 5-0, but Oregon just simply has not showed me enough this year to put them in the top 5. I would not put them over Alabama, and I wouldn't put them over Georgia. Neither would I Penn State. Penn State is 5-0 right now, has not lost the game, but I've seen Penn State play. I'm not convinced that they are better than Georgia and Alabama. This is just the eye test. This is just common sense. Do I think either one of these teams can beat Alabama or Georgia? No, I do not. And Penn State and Oregon, just from what I've seen this season. So that's why I did not put those teams over Georgia and Alabama. But coming in at number 3, I have Miami. I have Miami because I said this before. Even though Miami did struggle and barely beat Cal last night, I still think that this team is going to win and win out. Pretty much, they may drop one, but this team has the best player in the country in Cam Ward. And that's why I chose them at number 3, because, you know, it's kind of like last year with LSU and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels carried LSU last year, and, you know, they was in every game last year. So that's why I chose Miami, because they simply had the best player in the country, and they are still undefeated. So until Miami proves me otherwise, I got them at coming in at number 3. Now at number 2, I have Ohio State, and I was a little on the fence about this one as well, but Ohio State is a well-organized program. They look great from what I've seen on Saturday. Just great quarterback play. They got Junkins at running back. All my NCAA players out there know about Junkins and how unstoppable he was on the video game. But Ohio State is right there. They still undefeated on the season. They looking like the favorite to win the Big Ten right now. I don't think Oregon is going to beat them. And they just look like the best team in the Big Ten. All right now, with Michigan being down and Oregon having some questions. That's why I have Ohio State at number 2. Now, coming in at number 1 is Texas, because, like I said in previous lives, Texas has 2 quarterbacks who I think can get them to a national championships, and Arch Manning, and also the other guy. I don't know why I can't think of Quentin Ewers. I always have problems saying his name, but Quentin Ewers from Texas. They have 2 quarterbacks right now that can win a national championship for that team. So until Texas proves me otherwise, they haven't gotten to the thick of their schedule yet. But so far, so good. I like Texas right now coming in at number 1. Just seems like the most complete team in college football, the most well-coached team in college football. So that's why I got Texas still at number 1. Texas has been my undisputed number 1 for the entire season. So shout out to the Texas Longhorns. Nick Saban might have to eat those words. Said that Texas wasn't going to run through the SEC. But we're going to see. I'm not so sure about it myself, but so far, I think it's Texas. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what you think in the chat about this top 5. This is NOTL's top 5 rankings. If you are watching right now on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Instagram, please leave a comment. For all my people that's watching on Instagram right now, I can't get your comments, but if you do want to leave a comment, go to my Instagram page, hit that link in my bio. That's the YouTube page. You can watch on YouTube as well and Facebook. But if you want to go on YouTube, you can leave a comment and I could display it on the screen. So thank y'all, everybody who's watching on Instagram. I just gave you NOTL's top 5. Number 5, Alabama. Georgia, that number 4. 3, Miami. Number 2, Ohio State. And number 1, Texas. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. You know, this is pretty much an obvious topic. I just gave out number 1, Texas. Right now, I think Texas is the best team in the country right now. The most complete team in the country. Like I said, I'm not ruling out Georgia and Alabama as well. They both already got their losses out the way. So, with those type of teams, I can't really speak for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama because I don't know a lot about him, but we know what Nick Saban built that program to be. And we also know about Kirby Smart and what he has done at Georgia. So I still think those teams are still 2 of the top teams in the country. I have question marks for Miami, but I do think they have the best player in the country. I don't like to bet against that. When I think you got that dude, I think that you should have me in that conversation as well. And while I'm on that subject, I think everybody needs to pay attention to what's going on in Colorado with Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is one of the best players in the country right now. Should be in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy. And I think if Colorado can put together some more wins and also, just prove that they may be in that playoff conversation, I think Travis Hunter might be a front runner right along with Shedeur Sanders for the Heisman Trophy. So that's going to be something to watch going forward as well. What's going on out there at Colorado. But, I did have my criticism of Coach Prime, but right now he is putting together wins. And that was my only question is will he be able to win? We get all the media attention. We get all the hype, but can he win? And so far, Coach Prime this season is proving that. They are 4-1 on the season, and Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter is looking like Heisman candidates. So you got to look out for Colorado. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Right now, I'm going to put that top 5 back up and let you look at it. This is North of the Lakes top 5 right now. Let me know what you think in the chat. All the scores are at the bottom from this week's football, but let me know what you think in the chat about that top 5. If I can't get to you on the live now, I will get to you later in those comments. So even if you are not watching this live, if you watch it after, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. If I'm tripping, should I have Oregon in my top 5? Should I have Penn State in my top 5? I'm just not believers of those teams historically, especially Penn State. It's not like Penn State can never get over Michigan and Ohio State. It's like they always have that 10-2 record every year. It's like they kind of, a little above average, but not talented enough to win a national championship. So that's going to be interesting to see going forward if I'm right or am I wrong about Oregon and Penn State. But they just got to show me more, just on the national stage. I think Ohio State still has Oregon to play on their schedule. So that's going to be a big game. And that's going to be interesting to see how that game goes. And then that's going to tell us a lot more about those teams. But moving right along, the New Orleans Saints play tomorrow night on primetime football against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. I'm not going to be naive. We all know what Patrick Mahomes is, right? Multiple time MVP. I think now he has 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, three Super Bowls. So I'm not going to get on here and be delusional. Be like a Cowboys fan, think we're going to win the Super Bowl every year to only be let down, at the end of the season, or maybe sneaking into the playoffs, or not getting into the playoffs at all, right? I'm not going to be a Cowboys fan here and be delusional. But I think the Saints do have a legit chance to win this game. But Do I like our chance? Do I like the Saints' chances? I don't. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes, y'all. You know what Patrick Mahomes is and what he's about. A couple weeks ago, I think it was week 1, on ESPN, there was a debate asking, can Patrick Mahomes win 3 Super Bowls in a row? And I'm like, I thought that was a rhetorical question. I'm like, do y'all see this man? Have y'all seen what he has been able to do the last couple of years in Patrick Mahomes? There's no doubt in my mind that Patrick Mahomes can win another Super Bowl this year. And I think he probably will. This is going to be a big test for the Saints. I mean, this is pretty much the litmus test for everybody in the NFL. Can you beat Patrick Mahomes? Because if you can beat Patrick Mahomes, you probably can beat any team in the NFL, and you probably can make it very far in the playoffs. Right now, the Chiefs are undefeated, 4-0. The Saints are 2-2 on the season. We know the Saints lost to the Falcons, and they also went down to who else did we lose to? It's slipping my mind right now. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the chats, but the Saints are 2-2 on the season right now. So it's going to be interesting, but this quarterback matchup is actually closer than what you think. All right. I know how that sounds. I know. It's Derek Carr versus Patrick Mahomes. We know clearly who is the better quarterback between the two, but you will be surprised how close they are in stats so far through 4 games. Right now, Derek Carr has the highest QBR, I believe, in the NFL. Let me make sure I'm not misquoting this. Actually, it went down. At one time, Derek Carr did have one of the highest QBRs this season. They must have just adjusted this, but he is 63% on this, 63 points in QBR on the season. That's 11th in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, you would not believe this, but Patrick Mahomes is actually not having that great of a statistical season right now. He's 19th in QBR at 51.1, 6 touchdowns on the season to 5 interceptions. So he is vulnerable this year. He is turning the ball over, but he's still Patrick Mahomes. I don't care what his stats look like. I don't care what their record is. He's Patrick Mahomes, and he finds a way to win. But Derek Carr statistically is playing better football than Patrick Mahomes. And I know how that sounds. I know everybody's side-eyeing me right now like, yeah, right. But Derek Carr has 824 yards passing on the season. He also has 6 touchdowns, but he has turned the ball over fewer times than Patrick Mahomes with only 3 interceptions. So right now, Derek Carr is playing better football than Patrick Mahomes. I know how that sounds, and I know y'all looking at me crazy right now, but I'm just giving you the numbers. Numbers don't lie. You know, people lie, but numbers don't lie. That's the facts. I mean, you can take that wherever you want to go with it, but Derek Carr is playing better football than him right now. One of the big things right now with the Kansas City Chiefs, they are down one of their biggest weapons right now, and Rashee Rice. He is, from my understanding, y'all let me know if I'm wrong on this. Let me know in the chat, but I think he is out for this game. That's one of their biggest targets right now. So I go into this game looking at this as a litmus test for the New Orleans Saints. Could this be a potential Super Bowl matchup? Possibly. You know, by the Saints being in the NFCs, the Saints have had 2 games where they played really well. 2 games that they probably should have won, but end up losing. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Saints bounce back from those losses against the Super Bowl champions. I mean, you know, and then that kind of brings me to my next question. Can the Saints defense slow down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? And this is going to be a very close thing to watch. It's going to be a very interesting thing to watch during this game because the Saints does have a top 5 defense in the NFL right now. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes has been turning the ball over at a clip that we're not used to see Patrick Mahomes turn the ball over at. We all know that he's a magician, and we all know what he does on the field. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think the Saints defense can play well enough to win. It's just going to come down to Clint Kubiak's offense and how they scheme up against Chris Jones, big D tackle in the middle. Him and Aaron Donald might be 2 of the best defensive players I ever seen. I start thinking about Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I think they up there in that category of Chris Jones. I think Chris Jones is in that category, man. He just creates havoc. And one of the things that's going to be able to that you got to watch for, and I'll do this a little, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. I was going to do it in the next topic. But one of the things that is going to be the determining factor for this game, right now, Saints top offensive lineman, center Eric McCoy is still, I think he may be out for an extended amount of time, could be out for the season. I can't remember which one it is, but I know he's gonna be out for an extended period of time. He won't be for this game. And you got the best D tackle in the NFL coming to New Orleans, and that's gonna be a problem. I'm telling you right now, out the gate, even some of the best offensive linemen struggle with Chris Jones. I mean, he just wreaks havoc every chance he gets. So it's gonna be a task for the Saints to stop Chris Jones. I think he is the number one thing that, I mean, circle it 3 times. I mean, if Chris Jones has a great game, the Saints are not going to win this game. The Saints are not going to win this game if Chris Jones has an all-pro game like he's capable of. If he have 6 pressures, 2 sacks, or something like that, something crazy like that, you might well say it's over with for the Saints. Because, I mean, he is just that special of a player, generational talent. So that's going to be, that's what's going to come down to. And it's going to come down to who can make the plays when necessary. We all know what Patrick Mahomes is, what he has done. Patrick Mahomes is going to make that play. There's no doubt in my mind. And that's why I'm leaning towards the Chiefs in this game, because they got Patrick Mahomes, the Saints don't. That's pretty much what this comes down to. That's like when Jordan was playing. They got Jordan, the other team ain't. They got LeBron, the other team don't. I'm not picking against. Let me tell you, I made a mistake early on in LeBron's career, picking against LeBron, because I didn't think he was a closer, but he knew how to win. You understand? Did he freeze up in some of those? I won't say freeze up, but did he underperform in some of those playoff games? Yes, but he knows how to win, and that's the same DNA that Patrick Mahomes is cut from. I said that Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of this generation. He's just gonna find a way to win. He's gonna will the guys around him to play better, and they win together. It's collective. I mean, I haven't even brought up Travis Kelce's name yet in this conversation. We don't stop him, we don't have a chance. If we don't stop Chris Jones, the Saints doesn't have a chance to win this game. So it's gonna come down to who makes the plays and who capitalizes. I don't think it's gonna be a lot of turnovers in this game. You got 2 veteran quarterbacks in Patrick Mahomes and Derek Carr, but this is prime time. Patrick Mahomes was built for this. We're gonna see how Derek Carr and the Saints hold up against this Kansas City Chiefs team. And on primetime football, we all know what Drew Brees did on primetime football. So Derek Carr, it's your shot. Let's see what you got. We were saying use Carr last year. So now you just Carr. Now you just a nice Carr that's played pretty good during the season. We got the all change on the offense. Scrubbed them windows. Now you can see a little better. So Carr has been playing better this season. So we're gonna see how he look against a guy like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So that's gonna be very interesting to see, man. It's gonna be very interesting to see. But I got some keys to win for the Saints. I'm not gonna hold y'all alone tonight, but this is what it's gonna come down to. I kind of alluded to this earlier. Minimize pressure up the middle. The Saints have to minimize pressure up the middle, starting with Chris Jones. That man, Chris Jones. If you don't get a hand on him, if you can't control him, if you can't scheme around him, I don't know whether you want to run to the outside, get some quick outs to Alvin Kamara, whatever you got to do a screen pass to get the ball out the quarterback's hand fast, because, like you said, the Saints are without Eric McCoy. So that is what it is. We know what Trevor Penning is as well. I would not be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs put Chris Jones out wide against Trevor Penning, who is the Achilles heel of this offensive line. I would, in order to find that mismatch. So it's gonna be a interesting dynamic to see how that goes. But pressure up the middle is gonna be the key for the Saints to win this game. They have to minimize that pressure up the middle, and you can't turn the ball over. You cannot turn the ball over against Patrick Mahomes. He will capitalize. It's like, we all watched Drew Brees all those years. You couldn't turn the ball over against Drew Brees, or it wasn't going to end well. It was not going to end well. Patrick Mahomes is that same type of quarterback like those Tom Brady's. I just said Drew Brees and all these guys. Peyton Manning, we all know what Peyton Manning was. You can't make those type of mistakes against these guys and expect to beat a legendary, a future Hall of Fame quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best to ever do it. Not even done. I think Patrick Mahomes is still under 30, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but he's still very young. He still got more time. He's already at 3 Super Bowls. I think eventually he will overtake Tom Brady, and we will be talking about Patrick Mahomes being the greatest quarterback that has ever lived, right along up there with the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Brees, and the Tom Brady's. It's only a matter of time. So this is going to be a big test for the New Orleans Saints. And one of the things that the Saints can do to stop Patrick Mahomes is by stopping the run game. Make them one-dimensional. And also if the Saints have to get out to a lead so that the Kansas City Chiefs will become one-dimensional, so those pass rushers can get to Patrick Mahomes and limit the time that he has to throw, and he's not running around doing all that Houdini type of stuff, finding people wide open down the field. You got to limit that type of stuff. Keep them in the pocket, make you beat them from the pocket. Make sure that that running game doesn't get Isaiah Pacheco. I think he maybe still be out too. Let me see if I can see that on the injury report. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if Pacheco is still out. Yeah, so Isaiah Pacheco is still on IR, so we're not gonna have to deal with Pacheco, but it seemed like Andy Reid always find a guy that's fast, that can run the ball, that can catch the ball. I don't know what Andy Reid be doing, where he be finding these guys from. I mean, look at what he did with Tyreek Hill, right? So I'm pretty sure Andy Reid, being the seasoned coach that he is, one of the greatest play callers of all time, is going to find a way to do something. But the Saints have to make the Chiefs one-dimensional. Put everything on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders, which I know he can answer that call. But you got to stop something. You got to take something away in order to beat the Chiefs. They have been in very close games this year. So they do look beatable. They don't look like the juggernaut that they once was, but they still are the Kansas City Chiefs. And like I said, 4-0 on the season. Patrick Mahomes always find a way to win. They won 27-20 over the Ravens, 26-25 against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They beat the Falcons narrowly, 22-17. Just last week, they barely pulled off the win against the Los Angeles Chargers. So this is a battle-tested Chiefs team coming into the Superdome tomorrow night. And let me tell you, they already battle-tested. They've won close games already, and that's the problem that the Saints have had this season, is finishing. So that's why I got the Chiefs. I rarely ever pick against my favorite teams, my hometown teams, but I'm not going to be naive to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs 30-20 against the Saints, just because of the respect. I'm not going to play with Patrick Mahomes like that. I just, until somebody proves that they can stop Patrick Mahomes, maybe it's the Saints defense. We will find out, but I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I seldom ever give a prediction that's not in the Saints or LSU favor. But this one here, I got to go with the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Who Dat Nation, but I got to go with the Chiefs 30-20. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. I hope y'all understand that. But let me know what y'all think in the chat. This is North Lake Sports Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 6. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. I'm getting ready to wrap things up here. I don't want to hold you too long tonight. The Saints did not play today. They play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. LSU was off on the week. That they have LSU and Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels coming in Saturday. So we're going to definitely see how that plays out. But thank y'all for joining me this week. This is North of the Lake with your boy, Myron Rashawn. All the information is at the bottom of the screen. If you would like to support the platform, the Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. NOTL Podcast. All the high school scores are at the bottom. My Hammer High Tornadoes homecoming is next week. I look forward to seeing everybody. And I'm going to give our high school players of the week one more shout out like I usually do at the end of the live. Shout out to all my high school guys. Let me check Instagram and see who's watching right now. Shout out to everybody that's on. Wow, I got some viewers on Instagram right now. Shout out to everybody that is watching on Instagram. I see you. I see you. If you are watching on Instagram right now, the best way to watch is on YouTube, guys. If y'all want to leave a comment, Instagram does not let me see your comments on my live as I'm live streaming. So if you want to put a comment out there, hey man, look, maybe you say, well, look, coach, you might have missed out. I should have been player of the week. But let me know in the comments. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Y'all know I'll take care of y'all. This platform is for y'all, to give y'all that exposure. So shout out to all my guys from Tangy and the North Shore. Shout out to the North Shore. If any guys from Covington, Slidell, Mandeville, any part of the North Shore, Pearl River. I know one of the guys from Pearl River say, hey man, you didn't put our school on here. We part of the North Shore too. You're right, and I apologize for that. Your score has been at the bottom of the screen the last 2 weeks. So if y'all are watching this live right now on Instagram, I cannot respond back to you live. But if you hit the link on my Instagram, I can get your comments. And if you watch it on YouTube, it's a little better platform to watch the show on YouTube. But I am streaming on Instagram now. So I thank everybody. I see a lot of y'all in the chat right now. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all my biggest supporters. So I'm gonna keep doing this for y'all. But we're gonna get back into the players of the week. First, we got Kenyatta Fleet out of Hammond High School. Take a 61-yard touchdown pass for TJ Jones to the house, man. Shout out to my boy Kenyatta Fleet. Here he is on defense as well. Here he is. Quarterback rolls out to the right. He said, you know what? I see what's coming, so I'm going to go over here and snag this thing. I don't know where you think you're throwing this at, but don't throw it in my direction. No fly zone. He to the house. To the house. Shout out to Kenyatta Fleet. Shout out to his uncle, Coach Fleet at Nyame Fitness, man. This is a guy that we've been with for a while now, so it's good to see him doing good things. You're going to see him make a nice form tackle here on this play. You think you're getting outside? No, sir. I got you. So shout out to Kenyatta Fleet. He is our player of the week. Let me read out his stats. He had a 61-yard touchdown reception, a 35-yard interception for a touchdown, right along with 6 tackles, a great night. And we got to shout out Brandon Coleman from Amite High School. Fantastic game. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the night. Shout out to the Amite Warriors, still playing good football here in Louisiana. You see that speed. You see him getting around the corner. You see him excited. This was our game of the week. Kentwood versus Amite. Kentwood goes down to Amite 28-25. I got to direct things back to my Hammond High Tornadoes. We got Alante Beauchamp out of Hammond High School, number 4, 7 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks. You see him getting after people here against Slidell. Hammond High got the win 42-14 over the Slidell Tigers, man. And you see him here, causing havoc. Shout out to him and Big 99 up in the middle. You see him, they get into the ball. He gets there first. It's a track race to the quarterback. I bet they making bets out there. I say, I bet I get him before you. But number 4 count comes in right here and gets the sack and tackle for loss, man. So we got some talented guys here in Tangipahoa Hope Parish, man. So I'm gonna give y'all that spotlight. Here he is again. Here he is again. We got Alante Beauchamp. Also, shout out to 17 for Hammond. The whole D-line been balling. I could have gave the whole D-line pretty much player of the week for Hammond High School. Shout out to them. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Who I got next here? Let's see who I got next. I think Beauchamp has a couple more highlights here. Let's see this last highlight from Beauchamp out of Hammond High School, having a fantastic season. I got to ask, I mean, him and 99 got to have about 10 sacks on the season apiece. It seems like they always in the backfield. You see another sack by Beauchamp. We got to move right along. Let's see who this is here. It is Beauchamp again. I think that's Beauchamp again. And we got to get to our last player. Shout out to Jake Robinson, Ponchatoula High School with the interception right here, playing some outstanding football. Shout out to my boy Jake with the interception. You see him, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ponchatoula getting the win over Independence. And you see Jake getting there with bad intentions as he always do. Check out our boy Jake. Read the football, go get football. You see him right there on the play. Shout out to Ponchatoula getting that win against Independence. And you see him here with the quarterback hurry, gets the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands. Shout out to our Tangy guys. I had to put on one more time for you guys, but I thank y'all for joining the platform once again. This is North of the Lake, season 2, episode 6. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to our sponsors. I want to shout out our sponsors one more time before we get out of here. That's the Insurance Depot. That's 985-618-3222. personal insurance, business insurance, health insurance, and life insurance, whatever your insurance need is, they got it. I got all my insurance through them, my home insurance, my business insurance, my personal insurance, any insurance, you name it. They also do taxes. So please reach out to Mr. Kevin and Miss Reva Jackson. That's at 985-618-3222. That's 985-618-3222. So we definitely appreciate our sponsors. I want to show love to Hammond High School. This is the 5A select rankings. We see Hammond High coming in for Tangipahoa Hope Parish at number 10. We also see Rummel up there as well. I believe Rummel's actually on the South Shore, but shout out to everybody that is Rummel on the South Shore? I'm not sure Rummel is, but shout out to everybody in 5A that is on this list. Also, we got 3A. We got 2 of our Tangi schools checking in for 3A. We got Jewel Sumner coming in at number 7 in the rankings. I do believe this is I'm not sure if they are select or non-select. My head is all over the place with, they keep changing these things every year. But we got coming in at number 7, Jewel Sumner, and at 4-1 on the season. We also have Amy coming in at number 9, 3-2. Shout out to the Amy Warriors. Shout out to the Sumner Cowboys as well. And we also got those Kentwood Kangaroos with all those championships up there under that water tower coming in at 13 and 1A. That's 3-2 on the season. So shout out to Kentwood and everything that they are doing during their season. I hope they shape back next week after going down this weekend to Amy High School. But once again, guys, I want to thank y'all once again for tuning in. All my people on Instagram, all our high school guys from the North Shore and Tangi. Listen, man, if y'all think y'all should be a candidate for North of the Lake Weekly Sports Talk Live, just please shoot me a DM. Look, if you just want to be on the platform, if you just want to get yourself some attention, if you think you're playing well, even if you're not player of the week, I will still show you highlights, and hopefully we can get more eyes on the platform. Hopefully some scouts can watch this platform, and I can afford you guys better opportunities with my platform and give you exposure. So I want to thank y'all for joining in once again. Look forward to the videos I'm getting ready to put out. I'm going to break it down like I do every week for my high school guys, also for LSU and the Saints. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Make sure y'all have a good week, a great week. Go Tornadoes. It's homecoming week for Hammond High. I think also it is homecoming for Ponchatoula as well. So shout out to them. We will see y'all November 8th, Ponchatoula. But thank y'all for tuning in once again. Make sure y'all tune in next week. That's Sunday at 5 p.m. every Sunday. I'm going to try to stay consistent with that time. If I don't, I will let you guys know. So thank y'all for tuning in once again. I'll see y'all next week. Thank you.